Hello, hello, everyone. I actually don't know why I opened the game. Let me close out. Game's under maintenance right now. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. Let me just put out the ping. Alright, so we had the July release schedule. Sorry for not streaming when the schedule actually dropped. But there's quite a lot of items in here. Mainly because we have 3 more sections for the anniversary. I already have all of this, which is going to be linked down below, written up. So you can always refer back to the little small notes in here in case you want to revisit any item. But I'm gonna go into a little bit more detail. I'm gonna go into a little bit more detail in this stream rather than just the small little notes I have for each card in every event. So we can start off with the first item on the schedule, which is the summer banner. It's going to be Medro McQueen Summer, Gold Chip Summer, and then we have the event, which comes with Sakura, Chiono, Guts, and the 2 cards from here, which is Maruzensky and Nakayama Festa. First off, we have Medro McQueen Summer. Medro McQueen Summer is a little bit stronger after she drops. Well, not after, a lot after she drops. It's around when TM Opera O Wit releases, which is about halfway through Grandmasters. That's when she actually does something in terms of long tracks. On release, she's just a little bit weak since Pace Chasers don't have all of the items they need for a long track. Medro McQueen Summer has a 8% speed growth rate, 8% stamp growth rate, and a 14% wit growth rate. She is a pace chaser for long tracks. Both of her skills are on long tracks. Or both of her skills only work on long tracks, so it's kind of hard to bring her somewhere else. At that point, you might want to use one of her other outfits. Though her other 2 outfits aren't that strong either. Her unique is a new type, or actually it's not a new type of unique. Her unique is very similar to Medjuro Bright's unique, where it will have a special scaling on the duration while having a weak effect. It's 1.5 target speed, but the special scaling is it has a base duration of 5 seconds, which will always be multiplied by the length of the distance. So for example, on a 3000 meter, she'll have a base duration of, she'll have a duration of 15 seconds that will scale with the remainder of her current HP. And this always activates at the 50% mark or later, as long as you're top 4. Usually in races that are 3000 meters or longer, the same thing with Medjuro Bright. As long as you can run the whole track with your HP, as long as you're not going to stam out, this will always be carry over to the late race. So if we go into the the Kyoto 3000 meter, it will activate at this 12th section right here, which is around 15. Well, not around. It is 1500 meters. If you have enough HP to run this entire track, and last spurt as soon as the final leg starts, it will always last the 500 meters to carry over that 0.15. So that's Medro McQueen's unique. She comes with Focus, Pace User Savvy, Feature Act, which is the white version of her gold. These 2 skills aren't very useful. Faultless is the white version of a new Pace Chaser Long heal that she has the gold version of. She has Headliner, which right now is only on TM Opera O New Year's, which is when you're top 5 in the later half of the mid race. So as you're approaching that final late race leg, you'll get 2.4 seconds of 0.25 target speed. And then our other Her other skill is a recovery, which is actually pretty good for pace chasers since they consume the most amount of stamina, especially once we start getting murmurs onto the Arima Kinen. Could be a little bit worse. And this is a 7.5% stamina recovery. You cannot late start. You have to be running pace. It has to be a long track, and it will activate in the second half of the opening leg. So it can activate anywhere from 250 on the Kyoto 3000. It can activate anywhere from 250 to 500. So if it activates a little bit too early, you might not actually consume 7.5% of your HP. It's better if you get a little bit luckier with a proc where it's near the tail end of the opening leg. That's both of Medro McQueen's golds. She can be one small thing like on release is that I've seen when she was first released, some people make her into a front runner. You do lose that pace chaser recovery skill, which is really nice. But she does, like, the next long after her release is the Arima Kinen. And front runners currently have Kitasen Black and Seiyun Sky Ballroom as excels for the Arima Kinen. And you can also go into angling and scheming because it's only a little bit delayed. So you have more options as a front runner, and it only takes one front runner spark. Just because pace chasers don't really have anything right now except no stopping me. I think like Christmas Ogre can realistically be the only pace chaser on the Arima Kinen. She does get early lead. She has playtimes over, and then just Summer Runner, which doesn't really do anything because the last summer track is right now is the sprint. Now, if we go into her Evos, which I didn't touch on in the reviews, I don't know if Evos are going to come out tomorrow, or I don't think Evos are coming out early, but it is going to be in 4 months. Like, we're guaranteed to get Evos in 4 months. She gets an additional, what is this, 1.6 seconds on her headliner, which is actually really strong. 1.6 seconds of 0.35 is one of the stronger Evos we get with the earlier Umas. And then her recovery skill becomes a 9.5 stam recovery. This actually isn't that much stronger because it doesn't activate during the mid race. It activates during the actually no, this does change. Wait, does it change? Wait, I've been looking. Did I just explain the skill wrong? Oh, wait. Okay. My bad. I think I was thinking of a different skill. I was thinking of was it Calm and Collected or whatever. This one this one activates anywhere from the start of the 5th section to the start of the 11th section, or to the end of the 10th section, because it's the first half of the middle leg, which is a lot better. Still runs into the issue when you evolve the skill and it's a 9.5% recovery. I don't think you consume 9.5% or 10% of your stamina in the opening leg. But it's a lot better because it's supposed to be section 5 to section 10. Like, it's any tier for this track specifically between the 500-meter mark and the 1250-meter mark. I was thinking of the wrong skill. This is not an opening leg one. It's the first half of the middle leg. But her evolution for the 9.5% recovery is a little bit finicky because if it activates at the instant that it can't activate, it might not actually give you the big stamina recovery that it has. But she's a lot stronger once Monster releases. It's really hard to win off of the white version of Monster. I think it's called True Worth, and just that and like no stopping me. So if you do have her on an account, she won't be strong until like halfway through Grandmasters. It's a lot harder for her to run those. I think there's 2 long CMs. There's the Arima Kinen, and then there is the 3200, the Tenno Show Spring in the start of Grandmasters, which I think releases 413. TM Opera releases 6-8. Yeah, it releases like a month before TM Opera O is released. So like for the first 2 longs, it's kind of hard to run her since you only get the white version of Monster when Narita Brian Blaze releases and the skill is added into the game. I can't believe I already messed up. Our second character on this is Goldship. Goldship is really volatile as an ace. I'm sure you've seen a lot of people already. I mean, even I have been already complaining about how Dominator or debuffers are going to be extremely annoying on this going forward. Adventures of 564 on Goldship herself is a 5-second 0.15 target speed. So it's already 1.1 target speed worse and 1 second less than Anchors Away. So as like a target speed skill, it's about half as effective as an Anchors Away. This can activate at any point after the midsection, so anywhere from the start of the 13th section all the way to the end. It can activate 10 meters before the end of the race. But obviously it's really rare that that happens, since the way it works is every 10 meters it will check, do I want to activate Adventures of 564 here? And it'll just check every 10 meters. So like the shorter the track, the like less points there are to activate. On Goldship herself, it uses 2 random golds that you have in your kit. So like if you have Professor of Curvature and let's say Professor of Curvature and like, I don't know, Best in Japan. If Professor of Curvature didn't activate before the skill went off, then Adventures of 564 would hit both of those skills. The main use case of this is actually her Inherit, where you can inherit this on somebody and use a random gold skill. The gold skill conditions are it can activate a skill that you otherwise cannot. So like if it's a different distance or strategy. So for Goldship, she's an end closer. She can activate Top Runner, for example, since that's a different strategy. She can activate what's a long skill? Tremendous Pressure on like a medium or a mile. It can activate a skill that you failed the wit check for. So as long as the skill isn't on cooldown, it can activate that skill. So if you fail the wit check, the skill never goes onto cooldown. So like if you fail a like let's say you failed a Dominator late race, then 564 triggers. 564 can hit Dominator and pass the wit check on it. They can activate a skill at a timing that's deemed impossible. So like say they can activate like No Stopping Me during the mid race. Like at the 60% mark, it can activate No Stopping Me. And then it can also activate skills with conflicting conditions, which just means that it can just activate anything. As long as the skill isn't on cooldown, or the skill that like has been used earlier, this 564 can trigger that gold skill. So this is just a little bit too volatile as an ace. Like as an end closer, you kind of want No Stopping Me, and you don't want 564 to hit No Stopping Me, so it's just like makes it a little bit gambly. If you have like target speed skills, like let's say you have Come What May from the new scenario from Agnes Tachyon, which is a really good late race skill. If you activate that and like 564 activates during the acceleration zone, because it can activate anywhere after that 50% mark, you just wasted one of your gold skills on while you're still accelerating. Like when you have gold skills that like activate at a pretty good timing, it's really awkward when 564 activates it. And the 2 random skills definitely doesn't help. Her kit is like meant for 564. She has a long skill and a medium skill. So like you wouldn't be able to use the long one on a medium. You wouldn't be able to use the medium one on a long. So like the idea is like on a medium track, you would grab Intrinsic Experience and activate this on the medium track. On a long track, you would grab Elation and activate Elation on the long track. But it's just a little bit too random. That makes her a little bit too volatile as an ace. She also doesn't really have like OG Goldship is really good because she has Uma Stan, which is really good for mediums and longs, and she doesn't have that in her kit. It's just like the original Goldship is just a little bit more stable as an ace. And also like on mediums and longs now that Summer Goldship is out, you kind of want a recovery skill on a medium or a long, and Summer Goldship doesn't come with a recovery skill. So like because of her unique, she can't really run if people are running stamina debuffers, because when Murmur has a 92% chance to trigger on these tracks, you're going to want a recovery skill to at least hedge against one or two of them, on the off chance somebody's running double Murmur or your opponents are running single Murmurs. So like, people really want recovery skills, at least for this first scenario when she releases. Yeah, a 5/6/4 Nice Nature will only be able to activate Murmur once. So like, when you're building a Nice Nature as a stam debuffer, you kind of don't want to get All Seeing Eyes, because you just want like Murmur to activate. Like, yes, All Seeing Eyes does increase your like top cap stam debuff to 6%, but like, you realistically, Murmur has no range. Murmur hits everybody in front of you. All Seeing Eyes can only hit the people that you can see. And when you're running like a dedicated debuffer, you'd rather Murmur trigger than All Seeing Eyes. Her evolution skills aren't actually that great, because she can't activate evolved skills with her unique. So this actually is bad. Well, it's not bad. You just wouldn't evolve the skill. So like, when evolutions come out and you're on like a medium track, you just don't evolve intrinsic experience and you keep the gold. Or if you're on a long track, you don't evolve elation until the long version of the skill comes out. But just like in general, Gold Chip is just a very volatile ace. Her stat growths are not ideal for a medium long. You actually kind of want some stamp growth rate for a medium long. Realistically, it's best to prep stamp for at least a minimum of 2 gold Murmurs in the future. Yeah, kind of. Murmur, like right now, I would say has about like a 40% chance to trigger, because a lot of late surgers now have like really good mid race. So like, for a dedicated debuffer, it's kind of hard to fulfill the blocked condition of Murmur. But Murmur is at a baseline of 92% proc rate, as long as the nature has 5/6/4 and Murmur. Like, as long as they have those two, well, I guess they also need 1200 wit. As long as they fulfill those 3 conditions, that Murmur will go off 92% of the time, which is what, like 72 out of 80 races. If you bring a Nice Nature, that Murmur will go off. It's like, when we get into Grand Live, yeah, you kind of want to prep for Murmurs, which is why that first dirt track, the dirt 2000 meter, is a Christmas Ogre track, because Christmas Ogre thrives really well in Grand Live because it's really hard to get stam. A lot of deck recommendations right now are 3 speed, 2 wit, plus light hello, and that means with 18 stam sparks, you might hit like 800 stam, and you have to have all 18 stam sparks. Like, if you don't have stam sparks, you're averaging like 500 stam, I think. 9 brings you to like 650, which is really hard to run a 2000 meter while getting hit by a Murmur with no recovery. So Gold Chip Summer will transform how we play mediums and longs. The other things for medium tracks, like let's say Ogre double Murmur gets super or Ogre Murmur gets super popular. Gold Chip Summer can let people run Kenai Dominator, which allows people to run quad doms. That's where the term quad doms comes from, because it's not like Murmur, where you have a 92% rate to hit both your current speed debuffs. Kenai is a 2%, or sorry, a 0.2 target speed decrease. Dominator is a 0.25. For medium tracks, you would basically need 5/6/4 to win you need to pass the 92% wit check on 5/6/4. Then you need to pass the coin flip that 5/6/4 hits Kenai, and then you need to pass the wit check on Dominator. So like, it's actually around a like 46% chance that a Dominator can hit you with 2 skills. But it does increase the chance that a speed debuff will go off after pace down mode to like 98%. For mild tracks, it's actually more consistent to get hit by both Kenai and Dominator, because you just need to pass 92%. You just need to pass the wit check on Kenai, and then you need to pass the wit check on 5/6/4, 564 can't hit Kenai because it already went off. So 564 will hit Dominator. So for mile tracks, double or quad doms actually is more consistent. It's just it's a mile, so it's like medium tracks. The speed decrease kind of matters a little bit more. But yeah, if it hits, it hits. It doesn't hurt to make a 564 Dominator because either way, your speed decrease skill will basically always go off. It's like a 98% chance that the Dominator goes off. And for some reason, like if your Dominator is in like 5th place because there is six Dominators in your lobby, 564 can bypass the 6th place or lower condition of Dominator or Kenai. So it makes debuffs just so much more consistent. The other thing is that Gold Chip Summer is... I don't really talk about Team Trials because I don't really play with Team Trials leaderboards. But Gold Chip Summer also is used in Team Trials because it can trigger a gold skill. So if you like miss a wit check on a gold skill, 564 can hit that gold skill. So it just makes you on average like 1,000 points per Uma, which is pretty good. It's like 15,000 points baseline for every gold skill across all 15 of your Umas. So it's a meta pair in Team Trials. 564 does not work like it should outside Ghost Ship. No, you can inherit it. That's the issue. It does nothing for mid race. The target speed is 0.035 for 3 seconds. Like, this is a terrible mid-race skill. The only effect you care about is that the fact that when you inherit this, you can activate one random gold skill. Kenai is on Gold City speed. It's a speed card, right? So you can put Kenai on every single speed Uma. Or sorry, every single Dominator. But yeah, unfortunately, this skill, for some reason, can be inherited to trigger one random gold skill. Yeah, she's not a must pull. You can literally just borrow. Like, you shouldn't be doing more than like 2 runs on a debuff parent, or sorry, debuffer. So you should just be able to borrow it because it's just an inherit. Like, you just need to buy the inherit, buy Dominator, I guess finish the chain event for Gold City, and then get your white debuffs. Should you remake all your team trial horses to include 564? I think you could wait. I don't think there's going to be enough people like remaking it with Gold Ship when it comes out. You can probably just wait until Grand Live. But when you remake them you're going to have to remake them in Grand Live because you get so many more points. Or not points, but you get so many more... Because the stat cap increases in Grand Live, you just get like so much... what am I trying to say? Like, your average team score is going to increase a lot because of the stat increases. Like, you should be able to run UG 5s on average. So, like, you should wait until Grand Life, unless you're, like, really worried that... more rating, yeah, that's the word. But I don't think there's going to be that many people remaking when she releases that you're going to be worried about dropping out of Class 6. Is a dedicated... No, Gold Ship Summer can't be a debuffer. Dominator is never on a card. Kenai is the only one that's on a card, which is why Kenai Dominator will be on every, like, on Tachyon, Symboli Rudolph, Aishin Flash Valentines, yada yada yada. The nice thing is that Murmur's only on 3 Umas. It's on Nice Nature, Wedding, Top Gun. Is it Super Creek? Halloween Super Creek, I think, is the 3rd Murmur. There's only 3 Umas that have Murmur. I'm blinking on the 3rd one. Yes, Halloween Super Creek. So there's only 3 Umas that have Murmur. So it's kind of rare to see double Murmur from somebody, since they have to have either Super Creek Halloween or Top Gun Wedding as the Murmur target. But yeah, Grand Live, the entirety of Grand Live is surviving Murmurs. Because there's guaranteed everybody owns Nice Nature. You cannot have an account without Nice Nature. But like when you get to like 9%, 12%, triple Murmur, quad Murmurs, it's a little bit iffy to like prep for those because not everybody owns these two. Like, I don't own Top Gun Wedding and Super Creek Halloween, so I can't even do double Murmur if I wanted to. Does 5/6 work with candlelizing tricks? Yes, but so it can trigger the skill, But if the person behind, if the nobody is rushing, like the skill won't do anything. So like it can choose it as a target and activate it, but um, like this target would just be unfulfilled. Tantalizing tricks only goes off if somebody rushed. That's like the condition. So like while it can bypass that condition, it would still have no targets unless like 564 went off the instant that captivating tricks conditions got fulfilled. Like I don't even think that's possible. I guess they can both trigger at the same time and then target a rushing Uma. But like tantalizing tricks always, or captivating tricks, whatever it's called, always goes off as soon as somebody's rushed. Wow, that was a long rant on Summer Gold Chip. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is that she's not that good as an ace, but she will shift the meta of every medium, or mile medium long. Because like for long tracks where you have to tank 3%, like the most that you were tanking on long tracks was like 2% from somebody, right? Because somebody could run Stam Siphon that only hit 5 Umas and I guess they can run 3% because it was Stam Siphon and Flustered and Subdued. But now someone can run Murmur, Flustered, and Subdued. So on a long track, you can get hit by 5% from 1 Uma. Am I finally giving up on 3 aces? Yeah, no, I'm never running 3 aces again. Until, I would say, like, a little bit until La Arc, or not La probably in Grandmasters. Grandmasters is fine because, like, you can actually train Stam. Grand Live, it's just so hard to get enough Stam to deal with all of this. Grand Live, you can actually slot in a Stam card without, like, ruining your speed wit stat. Like, there's no point in running 3 speed in Grandmasters or 3 wit in Grandmasters. So it's a lot easier to slot in that stamina card. But, like, in Grand Live, if you're in a medium track, like, it's really hard to live double Murmur. But that's everything about Gold Chip. I don't want to keep on ranting about her. Probably like throughout like my streams, I'll continue to rant about how bad this will be. Like, it's so funny because right now, the Japanese server is doing a 3600, and on that 30, like, the 3600 has no debuffs on it. But like, you still need so much Stam. I think like the recommendation for this track is 1800 Stam and 20% recovery, which is just impossible to like do if Murmur was available to people. Like, they know that this is an issue because they started doing no debuffs. It's just crazy. Like, this is the the meta for CM. Okay, the other thing from this event will be the Make a Splash summer event, which will come out with Sakura Chihono Guts. It's not that great of a Guts card. She has 25 friendship, 10 TE if you're at 80 bond, Guts speed bonus, decent specialty rate up. It's just like the only cross training she has is 10 TE when you have her at 80 bond. She does start with 30, which is nice. She's a pace chaser miler in terms of supporter hints. She has, 3 pace chaser skills, 2 mile skills, summer runner pace chaser savvy. It's like no hint bonus, no hint levels, so it's a little bit awkward to use as like a parent card, especially in Mant when you're not even really training. She gives you step on the gas or acceleration. This one can whiff, but step on the gas is like a really bad skill. It increases acceleration only during the mid race. As soon as you pass somebody, you'll get 3 seconds of 0.4 in the mid race. It doesn't really do anything. It's a good team trials skill since it's guaranteed to proc if you pass somebody. But it sees this card doesn't really see any use. I don't think I've never seen it used as a parent card. I've obviously never seen it used in a Guts deck. I'm gonna go really fast. I'm not even gonna pull up Marzenski's speed since everybody's talked about it. But Marzenski's speed, good front runner card. Top runner is really strong. Fronts are really strong. Probably not in Grand Live. fronts can like run the mile. Fronts are probably the strongest on the 2-mile tracks, which is still a third of the CMs in Grand Live. It's like Ogre on mediums, fronts on miles. Marzensky's speed's good, right? Gives you top runner. One of the strongest mid-race skills you can have. Really good hints. Highest cross training you'll ever have. With 25% on like a summer training. Gold Chip Summer needs to be pulled. No, you can just borrow it. Like, you shouldn't struggle to make a debuffer. You could use like 1 or 2 borrows on a debuffer and be perfectly fine. You also don't really need to like min-max your debuffer. You just need Keen Eye. Like, you can borrow Gold Chip City speed. You can borrow Gold Chip Summers as a parent, and like you can just make the base of a quad dom. Or sorry, a double dom. Yeah, the parent, like, you only need the skill from it. Like, debuffers aren't too hard to build. But yeah, I mean, Summer Marzensky is good. There's really nothing else to talk about. Like, I think everybody's saying that is good. Does Step on the Gas get buffed later on? It does technically get a skill change. It's it's good for backliners that don't push up. If you're a backliner that doesn't have any mid race, technically Step on the Gas can be useful. How it works is that during the second half of the race, if you overtake somebody, you'll get the acceleration. It's just like Hard Worker from Haru, or I think Winning Ticket, I think, has the skill as well, where if you pass somebody, you'll get the acceleration. Because it's after the 50% mark, if you're running an Uma that has no mid race, it can kind of work, but it's super, super inconsistent. Are the changes of triggering Light Hello's repeatable event plus 20 lower for the rare card version as opposed to the SSR? I don't think so. But I haven't tested the rare version. Like, I haven't played with a light rare version of Light Hello, so I actually don't know how it interacts with the 20 token event. Yeah, Step on the Gas is just unfortunately always bad. The other card on Marzensky Speed is Nakayama Festa Wit. This card's not that great. It's not like a bad wit card. It's just you don't want this as like your first wit card. She'd rather be the second wit card, and she's also not good in Grand Live. So she doesn't really have a use. Her unique effect is she has a 20% chance to make the current training fail rate 0, but like you should be managing how much energy you have anyways to like basically get no use out of this. Maybe like once a training in a career, you'll get her unique effect. But at that point, you'd rather just have a unique effect that like actually gives you more stats, right? Like getting a stronger training is more important than getting like 1 or 2 extra trainings. She has 0 specialty priority, which makes her a roaming card, which you don't want in Grand Live. 20% friendship bonus rainbows, 60% mood effect, and 15% TE. This is where that roaming it comes into play. This is like 25% training effectiveness. The gold skill she has is Nothing Ventured, which is a stamina draining skill that any position can run. That gives you target speed anytime during the second half of the race. I should actually just pull up the card so we can see the numbers on it. This skill is really hard to use in Grand Live since Stam's really hard to get. Once we get into future scenarios where Stam has like, or you have a lot more HP than you actually consume, skills like this or Risky Business, or not Risky Business. What's the late surger one? Full Throttle are a little bit more effective because you actually don't need that extra Stam. But it's 1.8 seconds of 0.45 target speed, which is decent. And this happens anytime after the 50% rate. The Stam Drain effect will be based on a random roll. How it works is 60% chance that it actually doesn't drain any Stam. There's a 30% chance that it drains 2%, and then there's a 10% chance that it drains 4%. So it's like you have to kind of overstam on like sprints and miles. It's always better just to get the Marzensky speed. This card is like more so if you went like 400 on this banner for some reason, or like you started on this banner. Maybe you get a lot of copies of it or something, but I don't see. I shouldn't see this in anybody's deck. Seems like decent as a parent card with the hints. Yeah, she has I mean, hint level 3, 50% hint frequency rate. Um, she has like a 1 in, what is this? Like 1 in 16 chance to give you Umastan or like Nimble Nav, some late surger stuff. Uh, Kind of hard to make you. I mean, she has 10% race bonus at max limit break, I guess. So she can kind of be using man. I just, like, you might get 2 hints out of her in Mant with this giant list. You see Umastan, it's a must pull. They should not get used even after Grand Live. Grandmaster's Meguro Ramona releases. I don't think I have seen that many like Meguro Ramona Festa decks. Like a lot of the wit cards are like Tokai Teo Wit, Fine Motion as a secondary wit, you know, Mihano Bourbon Wit, the welfare one first, and then this one. So I don't see her that often. I definitely don't think the card's just not worth it. Like you're not going 400 on the banner to get Nakayama Festa Wit and then however many Marzensky speeds you get. So that's the Festa card. It's just like her numbers are just in a really weird way that makes it kind of hard to use. If she was a better wit training card, it's just then she's kind of usable. But it's just an okay card. Yeah, your best second wit card should just be whatever your style. It should be Mihono Bourbon for front, Fine Motion for pace. I mean, technically backliners can use it, right? I mean, late searchers might want to use Nice Nature Wit. End closers technically have nothing, so they can use. But like at that point, like you'd rather have Tokai Teo Wit if you're gonna pick up a secondary wit card. So it's just I don't know. I think it's just she doesn't really have a place in terms of like planning out pulls. Oh, Mr. CB, you're right. I completely forgot about Mr. CB. It's because I've been using Admire, Admire Vega for Daring Strike that I haven't even been using my Mr. CB that I have on my account. Yeah, she just doesn't have a place. Like Metro Ramona releases a little bit too soon, and she can't really be used in Grand Live since she doesn't have a good friendship bonus. I'll get to Teo once. I get to Teo once we get there. She's at like the bottom of this list. We have Bamboo Memory here as our next Uma. So we just finally got through all of the summer stuff. So we'll go to the next banner, which will happen 5 days after the summer banner releases. And it's Bamboo Memory and 2 rerun cards. So I'm not going to talk about the rerun cards. Bamboo Memory is a late surger on sprints and miles. She can technically run dirt, but late surgers on dirt tracks are very weak. It's because a lot of the good dirt runners are front runners. She doesn't even really want to run sprint. She kind of only wants to run miles as a late surger. I would not bring her to a medium. She has pretty good growth rates for sprint miles. It's 10 speed, 10 power, 10 guts, very balanced. I think ideally you want like 20 power, 10 guts, or just speed power. But it's a decent enough spread as a sprinter miler. At least there's no like stam. Wit, I don't know. Anything but stam for sprint miles. Her unique is very unique. Well, that sounds wrong. Her unique is like a new type of unique. It gives acceleration late race when you are close behind somebody. So when you're within a length of the person in front of you, the skill will go off during the late race as long as you are 5th or lower during or after the final corner. So anywhere from the final corner to all the way to the final straight. As soon as you get within a length of somebody, the skill will activate. It has special scaling on both its base duration and scaling on her effect. At the very start, so as soon as you are 1 length behind somebody and the skill procs, you have 2 seconds of point 0.1 Excel to try to overtake somebody. So at the very start, like Bamboo Memory will trigger her skill, and the skill lasts 2 seconds as a base duration, giving you 0.1 Excel. And you need now you need to overtake somebody. Every time you overtake somebody, the duration will be increased by 1 second. So you overtake that person that you were a length behind, you now gain an extra second. With that extra second, you also get another 0.1 acceleration, and this lasts up to 3 times. So it starts at 2 seconds, and it can gain up to 5 seconds. It starts at 0.1 Excel, it can go to 0.4 Excel total. So Bamboo Memory basically needs to be a length behind somebody, and then pass 3 people within the span of 2 seconds, then in 1 second pass another person, then in another second pass another person, until 3 people, get past. So basically, it's kind of a win more unique, because I don't think you're going to actually pass somebody with a 2-second 0.1 Excel when you're a length behind them. You kind of need to hit another Excel prior so you can actually chain it together. She has, ramp up, which is for overtake. She has outer swell, which is overtake on the final corner. She has full of vigor, which is the skill on right now the best guts skill, which she cannot run, which is final corner target speed. She has rising dragon, which is, I guess, the gold version of outer swell, which is also final corner target speed. So the idea is you either hit a lot of Excel at the start of the late race, so you can come into this unique with more Excel, or you try to hit speed carryover from Rising Dragon, Full of Vigor. I think realistically those are like the only 2 she has. But that's Bamboo Memory. Her unique isn't very consistent. Like, I think the issue is that base duration, right? You have 2 seconds to close a length to overtake somebody, and then you need to chain that all together. So it doesn't really make her that strong. On tracks where Trass and Cheer works, it's kind of fine, because you can hit Trass and Cheer into lightning speed, which is the Daichi Ruby power card that will come out later this scenario, or this in Grand Live. But I think like the main issue with this unique is that it is just a win more unique, and at that point, like, wouldn't an Uma with target speed just be better? Like if you hit Trust and Cheer into lightning speed in order to take advantage of this unique, wouldn't you just want to be Ogre with Triumphant Pulse? I just think that like her kit, while it is cool, right? It's very unique where you have to overtake 3 people and like it chains together. It's just very inconsistent. Like at that point, if you needed to hit prior Excel before her actual Excel, like you'd rather just have a Triumphant Pulse or anything. Like you'd rather just have the late race target speed. But yeah, it would probably show like really high distances. Also, there's not that many sprinters. We'll probably see a couple of her on sprints. Hopefully there's Bamboo Memory fans. Yeah, that's my review of Bamboo Memory. I think like her kit actually makes sense. It's just in a world of Christmas Ogre and like Bourbon. I guess Christmas Ogre is not that strong. In a world of like Bourbon, Smart Falcon, yeah, I think Bamboo Memory is just gonna have a rough time trying to overtake a lot of people. Summer Bamboo is a good sprinter. Yeah. The summer trip Bamboo Memory is actually really good. I just think the original one has a very unique kit. It's just it doesn't really work. Yeah, she's not like very strong on anything. Like she's like A B tier on any sprint mile, which just is kind of sad. Like if an is like strong on a specific thing, then at least I can like sing praises. But like Bamboo Memory, unfortunately, just is a baseline B tier on like every sprint mile. Like there is no track that she would perform better in. After the Bamboo Memory, we do have the Leo Cup, which is starting pretty soon. It's July 12th for signups, which is, what is that? Like 10 days from now? No, I mean, it's obviously 12 days from now. It's the 30th today. But the actual CM will probably start in about 2 weeks. What is it, 15 days? Um, July 15th? Is that when the Sprint Cup starts? I think it's the 15th. I actually didn't do the math for it. 15th or 16th, which is 15 or 16 days from now. People have already been testing. You just want to play frontliners. I don't know actually how strong front runners are. They weren't really used all that much from what I remember. Like it should just be majority pace chasers that are doing the best. But front runners can still win. I just think late surgers and like end closers definitely have it very rough. Like I think ideally you run just 3 frontliners. You can run front runner double pace, you can run double front pace, you can run triple pace. The main thing is that you want to be your whatever pace chaser you have or whatever front runner you have, the one in third place should always be better than the one in fourth place. Um, like if you're running triple face or triple face, if you're running triple pace, you just want all 3 pace chasers to be 1, 2, 3, because the third place pace chaser that hits shooting for victory, budding blossoms, should be stronger than the fourth place pace chaser that hits shooting for victory and budding blossoms. So just cram as much mid race as you can in all 3 of them, and hope that you occupy first, second, third. If you drop down to fourth, hopefully the third place Uma fails one of the 2 excels. But I don't really definitely do not play late surger or end closer. I'm gonna be running a late Haru, but I do not recommend running late surger and closer on this track. There's just nothing you can really do, especially if you load into the lobby and there is 6 front runner pace chasers in your lobby. Like it is so hard to occupy 6th place to be able to have any excel. So the main thing is like you could just play one of the pace chasers. I think all 5 of these are good. I mean, even like run a Bakshin or something. I don't know. Sprint is it's not, it's a little bit RNG because it's impossible to like consistently occupy the top 3. Like you would need like 4 more skills in order to consistently outpace people, which just isn't possible because there's just such little skills. What if On Your Left gets buffed? Does that still not make lates that great? It makes lates playable, but it's definitely would not be stronger than a pace chaser. Like if we had all the second anniversary buffs, late surgers just become playable. Like they just don't become good, even with the On Your Left buff. Late surgers need lightning speed. Like you need lightning speed in order to play these shorter tracks. Like if you hit a frame 0 on your left, congrats, you have the same excel as a pace chaser who guarantees gets shooting for victory budding blossoms. What are combo excels? Blossoms and sheer. You should. What do you mean sheer? The only like inherits that work here are like Let's Hunt Some Iron into Redshift, or Pace Chasers just having both shooting for victory and budding blossoms. Yeah, and then like front or Pace Chasers get head on, right? Or neck and neck from Daiwa Scarlet Power. So like if On Your Left gets buffed, neck and neck gets buffed. So like it doesn't even like they both just have a better gambling skill. So like late surgers just still are not too strong. But they're probably more playable if we do end up getting those buffs. But you like until this skill comes out, lightning speed, where it works on sprints and miles if you are 5th place or lower. If you're trying to overtake somebody, then you get 2 seconds of 0.4x hell. This skill like makes backliners playable, and closers do it better. But like at least you will be somewhat playable when this skill comes out, and this comes out on Daichi Ruby Power, which also kind of it still makes like decks really hard because now you're playing Grand Live with 2 speed, 2 wit. But this you're waiting on this skill, and it's not gonna come out until Mant, or not Mant, Grand Live. So this sprint is mostly a pace chaser, and mostly just a pace chaser track. Angling and scheming can end up working. It's just really hard to generate a lead because you can't get any early race straight skills. Does lightning speed ever instant proc an Excel zone? It can, if you hit speed carryover and you're faster than the person in front of you. Lightning speed can technically instantly trigger, because you don't need to actually overtake somebody. It's just you need to fulfill the condition of is overtake, which is if there's an Uma up to 20 meters ahead of you and you can catch up to her within 15 seconds at your current speed, you fulfill this condition. So if you hit like a full of vigor carryover, there's a high chance that you fulfilled this overtake condition on a pace chaser who didn't hit an Excel. Like, let's say you are the 6th place late surger, and there's a 5th place pace chaser in front of you, and you hit full of vigor carryover. You're guaranteed to trigger this because they don't have budding blossoms and shooting for victory. It's just this skill isn't for another couple of like until next month, 5 weeks from now. Does it come out for the mile? What is this? 10/14? I don't remember if this came. Oh yeah, it does come out for the mile. So like for the first mile in Grand Live, like you can hit full of vigor, or you might not have full of vigor, but you can hit a corner skill, and the pace chaser in front of you that's like in 5th place, or the late surger that didn't in front of you in 5th place that didn't hit a target speed skill, you could probably trigger lightning speed. But I think like right now in this track, it should just be pace chasers. It's really hard to win as a backliner. I don't know why I still put special transfers in here, but there'll be another special. The current special transfer, which is the Star Horse one, lasts 2 more weeks. There's 3 versions of the Star Horse one, but after that one ends, there is going to be another special transfer that we will have. Then we have at July 14th, we have the 1.5 year Annie countdown. That's what part 1 is. It's just the countdown to the actual anniversary, which is July 22nd. July 22nd will be Grand Live's release date. We will also have Ricky released 2 days after the countdown. So I guess I should probably actually reverse these two these orders. Let me do that real quick. Let me move that over there, and then bring Ricky down. So Ricky actually releases a little. Oops, I just accidentally. How do I do this? Like that? Nope. I just covered Smart Falcon again. Okay, well, I just messed this up. But the we're gonna do this part 1 first. Let me see if I put this here. Does it? Okay, that doesn't cover Ricky. Okay, so anniversary part 1 actually happens before Ricky, which I kind of messed up. Anniversary part 1 will come with, I don't have like everything that will be out for the anniversary event, but it'll come with a new home screen. If you were here when we did the first anniversary, like it's just gonna decorate that lobby screen with anniversary stuff. I don't remember how the 1.5 year anniversary looked like. I don't remember the color theme of it. I don't know if because the first anniversary I think was blue. I don't know what this one is. There's gonna be a countdown login reward. So every day when you log in, you'll get carrots. It goes up to 1,200 carrots. I want to say it's 120 for 10 days. But just know that the total is 1,200 carrots. There's going to be a free Uma pull per day. On the Japanese server, it was 4 on Bamboo Memory and 5 on Ricky. But the anniversary release on the 14th, which is 2 days before the Bamboo Memory banner ends. So the dates make it look like a 2-7 split, but these free Uma pulls, I guess, could technically start before the countdown, like the actual countdown anniversary. We won't know until they actually release what we're going to get from it. But there was 9 free pulls on the Japanese server. They're going to bring back the money and friend point shop. There wasn't, I don't think there was a club point shop, or at least I couldn't find one. But part 1 is just going to be all the items here. There's hint books, some tickets, and clocks. There's also going to be missions for part 1. Game Tora has it, but part 1's mission rewards are just everything that's listed here in the part 1. This anniversary will also add new dirt racetracks on Kawasaki, Funabashi, and Morioka. There's a couple of G1s from here, so it would also allow you to increase your affinity even higher if you're doing a because right now you can do, I think, 5 additional dirts on like a parent, but when these tracks release and we get the actually, can you do early May? Early May doesn't have a G1, right? Man, now I feel stupid for forgetting this. When is early May? Let me see. Early May. Alright, because that's the... Oh no, that's the race with the NHK. It's the race right before the Osaka High, I think. No, not the Osaka High. Early May. Yeah, it's the... Okay, no, it's the... Oh, wait, no, it's the same day as the Victoria Mile. Okay, so probably not that one. What about early October? Early October. Yeah, early October is the day after the Sprinter Stakes, right? It's the turn before the Tennosho Spring. So like you could do this G1 for Affinity, and do Mile Champions into Tennosho Autumn into like a JBC Classic, into like the Japan Cup. So like this would add a extra dirt race that you could do for Affinity, which brings up the total G1s on a dirt crown race into like 18 or something like that. But we will just have these 3 new tracks because Ricky has these tracks as part of her career. So that will be added in the anniversary part 1. Do I know if the new tracks affect completionist titles? I don't think so. I think the completionist titles just get changed. I don't think it does. But I've never chased the completionist title, so I can't answer that for sure. But going over to Ricky, I feel like I've talked about Ricky a lot. I feel like there's a decent bit of things about it, so I'm going to keep it pretty short. Ricky has 10% power, 10% wit. She's mostly run on dirt miles. She's not really run on dirt mediums because she doesn't have a recovery skill, or at least this early on. She's not really ran on dirt mediums until we're at a Grand Live. It's a little bit hard to run Ricky on those dirt mediums. Definitely once we get out of Grand Live and it's a little bit easier to come around stam and a recovery skill, you'll probably see it more. Her unique is very strong. Similar to Christmas Ogre, except it's a lot harder to fulfill the conditions. This skill will always activate during the mid race on the later half of the middle leg. So it always happens in the second half of the middle leg. She gets speed and acceleration. It has a base duration of 5 seconds, and it always gives you 0.25 target speed. She has special scaling for additional target speed and for acceleration. So, for example, if she has 1 green, she would get an additional 0.05 target speed and then 0.05 acceleration. And this scales up to 6 greens, which means that she can get an additional 0.3 target speed and gains 0.3 acceleration. This is phase later half random 1, so it will always happen like if you look at the middle of the middle leg, which is going to be from section middle leg always is going to be section 5 to 16, which is, what is that, 11, right? So if it activates as early as possible, you won't get carryover. But she has like a 40% chance to give you speed carryover and this acceleration. Either way, even if you don't get the speed carryover or are able to use the acceleration part of her unique, this is still a 5-second 0.55 target speed increase for a front runner. Like it's twice as strong as any other front runner's mid-race unique. So she has a high ceiling with the target speed carryover plus the acceleration, but either way, it is still like the strongest mid-race unique you can have on a front runner, given that you collected the 6 greens. Do I feel like Ricky's worth getting now, or did she be stronger later? Ricky only has 1 CM in Grand Live that like she would actually be strong on, but dirt tracks just like rarely run. Like she will be good on this dirt mile here. She'll be good on the dirt mile at the end of Grandmasters. In La Arc, she'll be good in League of Heroes on the dirt medium. Like once a scenario, except I guess UAF since they didn't run a dirt. And there's a pretty big shrink here. Oh wait, no, man. Grand Food Festivals, they ran a dirt. But anytime there's a dirt, she'll be good, except the first dirt that she releases for. It's a little bit too hard to get enough stam on her, where she wouldn't be like the S tier dirt demon that everyone says that she is. But after this first dirt, any dirt where you see a very strong Ricky, any dirt you see a really strong Ricky should be pretty scary. In her kit, she comes with 2 greens for Funabashi, Morioka, and Kawasaki and Oi tracks. So like for example, for the dirt at the end here on Tokyo, she only has 2 greens. She has Front Runner Savvy, and the dirt green, Skillful Step, has guaranteed greens. So like for the Tokyo mile, you would have to collect 4 more additional greens. She has a really strong mid race here. It's unique on her, which is another later half random on dirt tracks. If you are top 5, you get the 2.4 seconds of 0.35 target speed. Sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice. But she's probably the best dirt Uma, at least for dirt mile, until like 2 years from now, where we get Tarumai's alternate outfit and Smart Falcon's 3rd alternate outfit. I think Hoko Tarumai's summer trip is the first. Taru is the first one that will come out, which is all the way in, what is this, Grand Food Festival? Like this is like the first one that like actually can like strongly compete against Ricky. In terms of like being the same tier with like a fully built Ricky. Grand Life has 2 dirt CMs though. Yeah, I just don't think you would ever like this Ricky will not survive 2 murmurs on this track. If you're building a Ricky for this dirt medium, you are praying your opponents are not running a murmur. Otherwise, you're like slotting in on a 0% speed growth rate Uma. You're running 2 speed Super Creek. Like I think it's like impossible to build a strong enough Ricky for this dirt medium. Either you are not running Super Creek and praying nobody runs murmurs, or you are running Super Creek to deal with the murmurs, and then you just don't have enough speed for Christmas Ogre. Like I just think Ricky, after this one, I think Ricky is going to be the strongest dirt runner. Like at the end of Grand Live for the dirt mile, people shouldn't really be bringing murmurs, which will make Ricky really strong. I just think for this first dirt medium, you don't really want to run Ricky unless you believe that nobody's gonna run murmurs. For dirt tracks, you need to bring up dirt aptitudes for debuffers, or they do not matter. Both Murmur and Dominator have no range. You could be in the starting gate, trigger Murmur, and I guess you can't be in the starting gate and trigger Murmur, since you would need to hit the 50% mark. But no, you do not need to bring up dirt aptitudes because you shouldn't like you should eventually crawl to the 50% mark. But are there better options? Smart Falcon and Esmaru maybe. Smart Falcon, which I will actually go over once we get to her parade outfit, or sorry, her banana outfit, can kind of work because she has a recovery skill in her unique. Like you would rather run Banana Falcon on the dirt medium because you need the recovery like badly. But yeah, I just don't see her being used for that first one. Smart Falcon also comes with a 20% speed growth rate, which makes it a little bit easier to play during Grand Live. Like I don't think on the original server I saw a Ricky perform well. It's just Murmur is just too strong. Front's unplayable in Grand Live due to quad murmurs. Everything's unplayable due to quad murmurs. Like even Christmas Ogre can't really tank quad murmurs. Quad murmur is like quad murmur is 12% stam drain. Like I don't think Christmas Ogre can tank it. I guess I think she gets swinging Maestro. Would Ricky maybe be capable of Breath of Fresh Air gets buffed? I mean, you can technically run you can technically run Trailblazer. If you run Suzuka Speed, which is the story card, the story card has Trailblazer, which if you are top 3 in a medium race, you get the recovery skill. This would probably be better than running Super Creek. Like you run this as your 3rd speed card and run 18 stars of stamina. I don't think you would run Suzuka Stam. You would run Suzuka Speed as your 3rd speed card. Because Ricky's going to need a 3rd speed card. It's kind of hard to hit max speed off of 2 speed cards with 0 speed growth rate. Like I think the ideal deck would be, Kitasen. Trailblaze is the scenario link for Suzu. Yeah, I don't think you're running a stamp. I don't think you want to run a stamp card. Like I think Ricky needs a 3rd speed card. I guess you can run the better version of this card, right? You can run the actual Gacha, one, and then pick up Trailblazer, because you shouldn't drop to 4th place. I don't think there's gonna be that many front runner players. But yeah, 0 speed rate is pretty hard. Yeah, I forgot that technically you could run the Gacha version. Stam Sparks will be good at Grand Live scenarios. Yeah, you should be trying to prep Stam Sparks for all the mediums and longs in Grand Live. Where's the uphill? Because Restless could work. Yeah, yeah, that's the main reason why this track really sucks. There's no downhill with recovery, and because it's a flat track. It's also U equals MA2 on this track is better timing than 777s, and 777s already has really ideal timing because it's a 2,000 meter. That's why Christmas Ogre performs so well on this track. It's a track where both 777s and U equals MA2 are winning recovery skills. But yeah, unfortunately, Restless doesn't work on this track. So if you're running Summer Marzensky, you cannot pick up her recovery skill. She just will not be able to trigger it. Is being Ricky-less on dirt CMs like being Christmas Ogre-less? No, because Christmas Ogre is like super easy to make. Ricky is a little bit harder to make. Like it's rare to find a strong Ricky. But like as long as the Ogre had the recovery skills, like she could win. Ricky kind of needs like a minimum of around 5. Plus she's a front runner, so Ricky doesn't have any of the front runner things that you're looking for. Right? She doesn't have groundworks. She doesn't have prudent positioning. She doesn't have dodging danger in her kit. You have to source all of those by yourself. So, I actually no, that's a lie. She has but no, yeah, no, she doesn't. I thought this was prudent positioning for some reason. No, I think Smart Falcon has prudent positioning in her kit, but she doesn't have like groundworks or the rest of it. So it should be a little bit harder to find like strong Rickies. Most of them are on parents by this time. Yeah, but Christmas Ogre, you can run literally G-rated Umas and build together her whole kit. Like, it is still a correct statement that Ricky will be harder to build than Christmas Ogre. Like, I don't think Ricky is on the same level of like Christmas Ogre infestation. Anyways, that's Ricky. She's as after that dirt medium track, after this Oi 2000, you'll see Ricky be basically S tier for every single dirt track. Like she's no longer the number one Uma on like the current server, but she's still S tier. That's just how strong 5 seconds of 0.55 target speed is. The card that comes out with Ricky is Manhattan Cafe Stamina. This card has no use. Let me pull it up. Manhattan Cafe Stamina. This is our second stamina card as well. But the issue with this card is it isn't really good at training stamina. At least like compared to something like Super Creek. It comes with an SP bonus, which is nice, but like in Grand Lab you shouldn't be clicking stamina outside of like maybe the 3 trainings in summer, if it does show up for 3 trainings. And it has the only cross training it has is 10 TE, so it's the same cross training as Super Creek, but worse at training stamina. And then the skill it gives you is Self-Possessed, which is Measure Bright skill. It's a 7.5% recovery on long tracks for late surgers for the cost of some mid-race, which is 1.2 seconds of 0.15 decreased current speed. I just think like the stats on this card, just like you want one really good click from your stam card in Grand Life if you are for some reason bringing a stam card. And like this one just isn't strong enough to run over Super Creek. And like by the time that she is runnable, which is Grandmasters you can put in a stamp card a lot easier. McQueen Stam will come out, which is just a significantly better card. 80 specialty prio, 35% friendship bonus, 3 Stam bonus, that you do have to get the gauge bond filled. And then she gives you a recovery skill for longs that comes with target speed, which is better than losing current speed as a late surger for 2.5% more recovery, or 2% more recovery. So like she just doesn't have a place, because like you would want to use her for long tracks, but by the time you can use her for the 3200, McQueen Stam will be out. I'm assuming you're gonna borrow the card if you were to run this card. Like there's no way you're pulling for this thing. But like this card just never gets a time. Like there's no CM where you would ever use Manhattan Cafe Stam. Is she the first card to have 2 Gacha versions? I want to say yes. There's like what? Suzuka Speed has the welfare version. I think she's the first one to come out with a second card that has the exact same training. Yeah, I think so. There's honestly not even that many like repeat cards. Winning Ticket has what? Power? I don't know. Winning Ticket has Power, Stam, Guts. Yeah, I think she is the first one that has 2 banner cards, right? Like Boxing, I don't know. Boxing Speed, I think is super late, right? Yeah, Boxing Speed comes out way later. I think this is UAF 24. Yeah, I think she is the first one that comes out with 2 in a row. That isn't like a welfare card. Because I know, yeah, Boxing has one. Gold. Oh no, Gold Chip is a. No, wait, is Gold Chip? No, that is a welfare card. Yeah, I want to say she is the first one that has 2 pullable ones, if you don't count SRs or welfare cards. Like digital has 2 power cards, right? Like they just released a new power card. We currently have a digital power, but that's super late. Yeah, I think she is the first one. Okay, I'm gonna stop looking around. All right, we have, I think, yeah. So that's this banner. The Part 2 anniversary celebration and Smart Falcon plus Tachyon Light Hello release at the same time. We're gonna go over Smart Falcon and the banner first before the anniversary stuff. I'm gonna skip over Light Hello and Agnes Tachyon. I'm pretty sure like there's enough things said about it. You can read like what my thoughts are on it, which isn't honestly that many thoughts. I just described what they do actually. But I'm gonna actually skip them. We're just gonna go into Banana Falcon because I feel like I haven't seen that many people talk about it. Smart Falcon has a lot of warriors though. Like I think Smart Falcon has a bigger following in global than she did in any other server. Honestly, I have never seen this many Falcon warriors. Smart Falcon has a speed guts rate. She's a dirt runner on miles and mediums. She has both her skills only work on dirt tracks, so she's a little bit hard to bring to another track. Since I guess trending charts is on the OG version, and then like all she has is prudence positioning or prudence sense or whatever. So it doesn't really change much. But every skill she has in her awakenings only works on dirt. I guess it's like the same as her original outfit. Her unique gives target speed at the 40 to 50% mark as long as you're within the top 10% of the race at that point. So after spot struggle and like overtake mode and speed up, after all of that, which ends at the 40% mark, if you're within the top 10% for that from the 40 mark to the 50 mark, if you ever enter top 10%, you'll get 6 seconds of 0.25 target speed. If you are on a dirt track, you also get 3.5 stam recovery. She has training in the charts, which her original version has. This is just mid-race. If you are blocked from the side for 2 seconds, you get 2.4 seconds of 0.35. Aim for the center is a dirt late race gambling acceleration. There's another gambling acceleration, which is aim for the front rows that I think digital has, right? This one only works for front runners since it needs to be, or front runner pace chasers since you need to be 5th or higher. But it's 3 seconds of 0.4 excel for like the gambling. And then she also has a debuff, Cloud of Dust. It's 3 seconds of 0.15 current speed, so it's very similar to Speed Eater, right? It's if you're on a dirt track after 10 seconds during the early race, but you have to be first place, and it only hits second place. Second place also needs to be within a length. This is like the weirdest skill, I think, that's been released. So it has to be a dirt track. 10 seconds have to be passed. You has to still be early race. You have to be first. Second place needs to be one length behind you, and you only hit them with the debuff. So it's like it's way more restrictive than Speed Eater, and it's literally just hate for second place. That would likely be your Onuma. Yeah, like usually you want to play double front, so like it's even more restrictive because it has to be like the second place of an opponent. I don't know. I think the skill is like really weird with the conditions it has. Overall, like I don't think Banana Falcon actually power creeps Original Falcon. Like I think they both have their strong points. The way I see it is that Banana Falcon is weaker in fighting for first the more frontrunners there are in the lobby. So like if there's like 4 fronts, I think Banana Falcon's a little bit weaker because her unique triggers after like the overtake spot struggle, like after all of that, then her unique will go off. Whereas Original Falcon can trigger during that early race, during that scramble in overtake spot struggle. So like I think if it's like a front centric track, you would rather run the original Smart Falcon. So like on the Tokyo Mile, like I think you would rather run Original Falcon because you want to try to fight for first early race. Where I see that Smart Falcon's a little bit stronger is when there's less front runners because it's easier to fulfill her conditions, and like she has more like to be solo, if that makes sense. Like you need to win spot struggle and like overtake mode without any help from your unique. So if you do end up winning that, then your unique pushes you up even farther. It's weaker than like a max cap Ricky. Like Ricky, like you could, if it's like you versus Ricky, for example, I think you would rather run Parade Falcon and try to use this before Ricky overtakes you with her 50% one. But if there's like multiple front runners, I think you'd rather run OG Falcon. But like I don't know, she does Parade, for example, power creeps both of them. Like Parade is just the best version of Smart Falcon. But like I think between Grand Live and Original, there's like a use case for each one. Like some tracks it's kind of like a rather than like what track they're specifically better on, it's more so what the average room composition would be for which Smart Falcon would be stronger. Not that I'm ever going to play Smart Falcon. Actually, that's a lot. I have OG Smart Falcon now. I'll probably run her for League of Heroes. But I'm never going to run any Smart Falcon for CM. Yeah, Smart Falcon's really strong. The Turf E makes her actually way better to build. Well, not way better to build. You still need 10 sparks of Turf. But you see so many Smart Falcons because her Turf is E. Since you can all GP Turf sparks and then try to go for the distance spark on your main ones. But yeah, Smart Falcon has a lot of representation. I think like it was just shown a little bit less in other servers because there's just more Smart Falcon players, I think, in global than any other server I've seen. Yeah, both versions also have really good growth rates. 20 speed, 10 power. It sucks that it went to 10 guts, but guts cards eventually start becoming a little bit better on shorter tracks. And then, once again, I'm just going to skip Light Hello and Tachyon. You can watch any content creator. You can even read this, and you'll probably get the gist of this banner. Like, everyone talks about this banner. So, I don't really want to continue spieling about it. Like, just get Light Hello. Tachyon Max Number Breaks good. We're going to skip that. This is also just when this banner released, that's when Grand Live will come out. This is going to be part 2 of the anniversary missions. Part 2, so as soon as the scenario releases, we all should get 3,000 carats as a present. That's what we got on the JP server. And then there's going to be another login event for the anniversary. It should be 3,000 carats, so it's an additional 3,000. So all in total, from the 1.2 thousand from the countdown and the carats from this login, we should get 7,200 in total. The login event will also have 2 copies of the welfare card, which I will go over soon. And then we'll also get the part 2 of the missions, which are the rewards right here. You can go on Game Tora to like look at how to fulfill the missions, but these are the rewards from it. We also get 100 free pulls. We should be assuming that there's going to be 60 on Light Hello and Actus Tachyon, and then 40 on Tokai Teo and Twin Turbo. We'll get half TP until, right, it's tentative here, but until mid-August. So when the scenario releases, we have half TP for 2.5 weeks. And then for the same amount of duration, we should also get double daily race tickets. When Grand Live released, that's when Spark Reroll came out. So we're still pretty far off from Spark Reroll. Since this is on the 22nd, we're like 3 weeks out from Spark Reroll. Mihono Bourbon Speed is the card that releases, or is the 1.5 anniversary. These welfare cards are so funny because there's so many Umas, but it's only one Uma that the card is actually about, and they're always just tucked in a corner. Like, I feel like Bourbon should have been where Ricky is if it's a Mihono Bourbon Speed card. Or whatever. Mihono Bourbon Speed comes with an SP bonus. I guess I should pull up the support. I should pull up the stats on the card. But in terms of like welfare cards, she's stronger than the Suzuka Story card. Still pretty weak stats, but it's 2 speed bonus, 10 TE when you get 80 bond, 20 friendship gauge, good starting up bond. No race bonus, but you don't really care about that in Grand Live. But the SP bonus actually helps a lot. The main issue is that you want to run Mihono Bourbon Wit for taking the lead. The skill she gives is Trailblazer, which is the same skill that Suzuka Speed gives. But I think it's just like hard to fill in decks because you can't use Mihono Bourbon Wit. In order to get taking the lead, you would either need to own it, so like you would have to be Kitas in Black. Is Kitas in Black the only one with taking the lead? But if you were trying to get on anyone else, you would have to use Metro Palmer's Stamina, and then like you can't use Marzensky Speed and Mihono Bourbon Speed as your only 2 speed cards and Cap Speed. Like there's no way that's going to be consistent. I don't even know even if you had like a perfect high roll if you could cap off of just Bourbon and Marzensky. The other option would be to drop a Wit card, which sounds wrong. Like even if it's your Wit cards are Fine Motion, Mihono Bourbon Wit, that's better than just trying to run solo Fine Motion. So I think this card just doesn't really have a place in Grand Live because like you want to get taking the lead from Mihono Bourbon Wit, and like then I don't see how you fit this into a deck. But I mean, welfare cards are always worse than gacha cards, except I guess Mihono Bourbon Wit, which gives you a skill that is like pretty much mandatory. And then the last thing from this part 2 missions is that we will get the daily legend race. We'll add, what is this? 13 more Umas. So it's just every Uma here. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to talk about. It's just all these Umas will get added to it. But that's everything for the 1.2. The 1. Sorry, not the 1.2. The part 2 of the year anniversary. Next up, we have, it looks like I'm starting off with the steampunk stuff and then going into part 3. So the last banner for this month will be the steampunk banner. It'll be winning ticket, Arita Taishin, Tokai Teo, Twin Turbo, and then their story event. Winning ticket is, I feel like I call every Uma interesting now. It's significantly better than her 1-star version. She's a medium late surger. Her unique is 6 seconds of, is it point? Let me check. It's 6 seconds of 0.25, but this is late race, so it's not like an anchors away. It's an anchors away, but it works on the final straight, which is a lot worse because you'd rather just have late. You would, if your unique is 6 seconds of 0.25, you would rather this be in the mid race so you can try to get into positioning. But if you're on the last straight and you're 4th place or lower, you also need to have enough stam to run the rest of the race. That's what is last spurt means. Then you get the 6 seconds of 0.25. There's a secondary effect where you can get an additional 0.05 target speed for every skill that you activate while this skill is going on. So like for example, on a 2,000 meter race, this skill would last 12 seconds. And in those 12 seconds, you need to activate 3 skills in order to fully use this, in order to fully get the benefit of her unique. The only way that this would be stronger than something like Triumphant Pulse or any 5-second 0.45, like who else? Like Symbolic Rudolph's Emperor's Divine Might. The only way to be stronger is if you activated all 3 skills. If you activated 2 skills, it's weaker than a 5-second 0.45 target speed. So she's stronger at 3 skills activated, she's weaker at 2 skills activated. She's always stronger than the base version of Winning Ticket. There's not that many skills that actually activate this. There is there's not that many downhills during the late race. So downhill, this is called downhill. The downhill speedster? Is that what the English version is? But this is still a pretty good skill. At a random point on a random hill, your speed will increase. I think on only like 2 tracks is there, like the straight descent tracks, this skill isn't good on, which is actually 2 of them in this scenario. I think it's the mile and the 2200. That like this skill wouldn't be too useful on. Yeah, the Kyoto 2200, you don't. I guess you can gamble that it's speed carryover, so it's actually not that bad. She has 15 million CC, which actually is a pretty good skill. If there's an uphill during the mid race, you get target speed. So like the Kyoto 2200, it's good on the. Actually, is that the only medium race we have outside of the dirt? Oh yeah, it is. But like on the Kyoto 2200, it'd be decent for 15 million CC. She also has Come What May, or the JP translation is Prepared to Die. This is a skill that Agnes Tachyon speed gives. It's actually not that strong on her during Grand Live, since hopefully you're running Agnes Tachyon speed in your deck, and you would usually pick up her Scenario Link Star. But this is a good skill for her unique, because this skill activates on that last straight in medium races, and it can activate in fifth place to 2nd place. So you can activate Come What's May. If you activate her unique, like Comes What May, I'd rather just say Prepare to Die, should also trigger during the start of that final straight and at least give you that first target speed increase. I think like the main issue is that she just doesn't have consistent enough skills to activate all 3 versions of it. She also has Full Throttle, which I don't think you should be using. I think this is a 2nd anniversary buff, so I guess if it's a 0.2, or sorry, if it's a 2% stamina drain, it's okay. But right now it's a 4% stamina drain, and I don't think you can tank that in a medium race. But if we go over to skills and we filter straight or final straight skills, and then we do normals. Actually, not normals. We just do all, and then we look for like anything that can activate it. There's just like not much that is guaranteed to activate during that final straight. I guess you can inherit things like Certain Victory is honestly fine. Like you can technically inherit Certain Victory, and this could be like your 2nd skill to activate it. I don't think you really want to activate it off of Sky High Teo Step's a little awkward because you have to be in 3rd place. But there's just not like many good skills. I guess you can do like the Emperor's Divine Might as another skill to try to activate her unique. I think just like right now there isn't enough of uniques to take advantage, or like to be able to consistently hit all 3 skills during the duration of her unique. She's not particularly good on Derby either. I don't think this version's that strong on the Derby. That's where her UAF version comes in. This is a Derby merchant. Like this winning version of winning ticket is meant for the Derby. But I just think her unique's a little bit. I mean, it's better than her 1-star version. Like for sure, if you're running winning ticket, like you should just run this for the medium tracks. I mean, you should probably be running this over any other version of like on any track over her 1-star version. But it's just like it's not too strong, and it's kind of hard to use her unique. But she has decent skills for medium tracks. There should almost always be an uphill during like the mid race, and then prepare to die is a good skill. That's winning tickets. Next up, we have Narita Taishin Steampunk. Narita Taishin. Narita Taishin. This is a medium version of Narita Taishin. Can I share this? Yeah. I only have it updated to. Actually, I think I have Grandmasters all. Oh no, I only have the first League of Heroes of Grandmasters. I haven't done the last 3 CMs. I've only done 2 of them. Or sorry, the last 3 PvP events for Grandmasters, because I'm a little bit too lazy. Anyways, we have Narita Taishin Steampunk. She's a medium end closer. She has 8% stam, 8% guts, 14% wit. You don't really want the gut stats here. I think you would rather have speed power. Her stat bonuses are a little bit weird. But I guess it's better than her original outfit that has like too much guts. Like the 14% wit at least helps. Her unique is a 5-second 0.35 target speed during the late race on the second half of the final corner, while she is 4th to 7th. So this is a weak version of late race Excel. You have to be 7th through 4th on the second half of the final corner. As an end closer in medium tracks, you really want mid race to try to push up into 6th place, or at least try to push up to hit no stopping me. So I feel like this unique is very awkward for a medium track end closer. And she doesn't even get a 0.45 version. Like at least give her a 0.45. Like give her a T-pulse if you're gonna do something like this. She does come with Nimble Nav in her innate skills, but I think at that point you'd want no stopping me, which you should be getting off of. You can't get it off Grand Live, but there will be a stamina card in Grandmasters special week that gives no stopping me, which is actually pretty decent. Does any Uma ever want guts growth rate? If you're a sprint miler, you kind of want guts growth rate. Though speed, I guess technically speed power is still better. But when we're running like 1 guts card in La Arc and beyond, when like you actually slot in a guts card, guts growth rate is actually usable. Right now it's just bad because we're running like triple guts cards. She has breakthrough, which is a new skill. If you're second in the second half of the pack at a random point during the mid race, you will get 2.4 seconds of target speed increase. Lane movement's kind of fake, though I guess it could help you overtake somebody during the mid race. But basically, this is just basically daring strike if it lasted less, since it is any point during the mid race, 5th place or below as an end closer. Like this is just basically daring strike, but if it was worse. But yeah, I guess you can get this skill and daring strike, which is a good thing. And then her other skill is from the brink, which just sucks. Even when the skill gets buffed, right now it's really bad, but even when the skill gets buffed, it is 0.8 seconds of a gamble on a medium track. Like the skill even buffed isn't that great. Her evolution kind of makes it better because it doubles the base duration, but I think this Narita Taishin just kind of sucks. I think when you're like an end closer in a medium track, you really want a mid race unique. Like, take it from me. Like, I'm trying to build. I tried to build that Hishi Amazon for that Takarazuka Kinan, and she was struggling to hit 6th place. Like, you really want a mid race unique. I mean, if Hishi Amazon had a mid race unique, she wins me that CM, and she doesn't block out my gold chip, who did have that mid race unique. Uh, so like having this late race unique, which is also kind of restrictive. You can't be top 3. Um, I guess it's not that restrictive. It's just not that useful. I think this like Narita Taishin just isn't strong enough as a medium track runner to be able to perform. The mecha version's a stronger medium track runner, but she's only really strong on Nakayama on I think Nakayama tracks, right? What's the Nakayama track that she won? The Satsuki show? Satsuki show is Nakayama, right? She's the Satsuki show, the BNW trio. Is this a better Taishin to use on medium tracks compared to the base version? I mean, yes. Well, it depends on if you need Sleeping Lion or not, right? Like, if you need Stam and you need Sleeping Lion, technically Narita Taishin is better because this doesn't come with a recovery skill. But I guess, yeah, Breakthrough would be better than, Encroaching Shadow on a medium track. So, like, this is still the medium version of Narita Taishin, and then this is the mile long version of Narita Taishin. It's just she's not a good medium runner. Like, I think she's weaker than Gold Chip. When Mr. CB releases, like Mr. CB like is definitively the medium end closer. Especially if you have Admire Vega power, then you're able to get Daring Strike on her. Like, Mr. CB is significantly stronger because she has that mid race unique. But I mean, it's an orientation potential. I can't even say she's potential Uma because she's just not that strong on medium tracks. But that's an orientation. The last thing on this banner is the 2 cards. We have Tokai Teo Wit and Twin Turbo Guts. I don't think I'm gonna pull up their information. Tokai Teo Wit. You have to be okay. Actually, one thing I want to talk about Tokai Teo Wit is that you need to be really careful about looking at her stats. I think like almost every site, Tokai Teo. I think almost every site just assumes she has 20% TE. Or at least I haven't like seen a way to lower the amount of TE she has. But her TE only goes into effect depending on like the total bonds of all of your supporter cards. So like she won't always have 20% TE. Like, when she has this 20% TE, obviously she's really strong, right? Like, if you compare it to Fine Motion, like if all of your cards are bonded, sure, she's on the same level as Fine Motion. But like for like the first like 40% of your run, you won't have max bonds for 20% TE. Like, I guess that's the only thing I want to bring up. But she's still a really good card, right? She has 30% friendship bonus, pretty low specialty prio, but Fine Motion has the same specialty prio. And then she has 1 speed bonus and 2 wit bonus, which is actually really good. Just like be careful when you're like looking at the stats of Tokai Teo, because I think most sites just assume she will always have the 20% DE. Like, Fine Motion always has 15%. Tokai Teo has like 5% at the start, depending on how much initial friendship gauge you have on all your cards. Like, this is 1 in 5, right? No, she doesn't work only on max. No, you can't like scale it. You can either turn it off or turn it on. But like just like when you're doing like your bondings and stuff, you won't have the TE effect from it. But she's still a really strong card. Like, I don't think she's like I don't think she's meta defining. Like, Professor of Curvature, if you don't have Kitasen, or like you're not running Kitasen in your deck, Tokai Teo Wit's a lot better. Like, she's good. If you're running like Tokai Teo Wit Fine Motion, that's a really strong combo, and you're running like you drop Kitasen for, I don't know why you would drop Kitasen, but you drop Kitasen for something. Or if you don't own Kitasen. Like, I think Tokai Teo Wit is good. I just think that, like, whenever I see comparisons, um, like, she's not gonna always have the 20% TE. But it should scale. It should scale, like, linearly. So, like, if you have all your cards bonded and they're all at 80 bond, you should have 16% TE on her. So, like, if all your cards are at Rainbow, she'll have the same amount of TE as Fine Motion. And then once you get to that last... And once you max out all your cards, then you'll get that last 5%. But she's, like, a little bit weaker than Fine Motion, but she's stronger than most other Wit cards. I don't think there's a... I'm trying to think if there's a Wit card that's stronger than her. I don't think there is. I want to say, like, it is like nothing comes out that is better than Fine Motion. But I'm trying to think if there's something better than Tokai Teo Wit. That comes out in Grand Life. I don't think so. Ogre Wit? Oh yeah, Ogre Wit's pretty good. I guess yeah, it is Ogre Wit. It comes out at like the very, like for the last 2 CMs, I think. Yeah, Ogre Wit has a little bit more specialty priority. But she's a good card. Like I personally don't like. She's not meta defining. If you don't have a Wit card, she's good to pick up. I just don't think you should like all in on her. Right? Like, I think also she's a little bit close to Tachyon's banner. Like, I don't know if you're doing like a 200-400 split for this card. But Tokai Teo Wit's fine. It's a good borrow if you need a Wit card and you own like Fine Motion. The last card, before the welfare card, I guess, is Twin Turbo Guts. Yeah, it's a pretty whaley banner. I mean, it's better to whale on that than Nakayama Festo Wit, I guess. You'll definitely see Tokai Teo Wit in a lot of decks. Like, it's a strong card. It's literally in the same tier as Fine Motion, I would say. Like, I would still use Fine Motion over Tokai Teo Wit, but it's basically in the same tier. The last card is Twin Turbo Guts. She has a unique effect where... She has the same unique effect as Sirius Symboli, where every time you train with her, she gains an additional 3% friendship bonus, up to 15 total. So she can stack up to 40% friendship bonus, but she's a Guts card, so I don't think you're really clicking on her. Like, you're not going to click Guts 5 times. I think your run is dead if you click Guts 5 times in Grand Live. Good specialty prio. Actually, really decent bonuses. She has no cross-training. Like, she can only train Guts. But she has 1 power, 2 speed, 1 SP bonus. Like, she's a pretty decent card in terms of training Guts. I think I've seen it used in La Arc. Like, you can run 2 Guts cards in La Arc, and I think I've seen Twin Turbo for, like, a Sprinter a mile. The skill she gets is 1000% output, which is a 2.7 second 0.45 target speed in the first half of the mid-race. So while you are spot struggling, this is only a front runner card. While you are spot struggling, while you are pacing up, you can get this 2.7 second 0.45 target speed, but it drains 4% of your stamina because it is Twin Turbo. So basically, you should only be using this on sprint and miles. I don't see it being used in Grand Live, and I think it can be used in Lark. Maybe in Grandmasters. I actually don't know if you have another card to use in Grandmasters. So you might use Twin Turbo Guts in Grandmasters, but it has 0 cross training. Like, you kind of need to build a Guts deck around it. Let me go ahead and pull up the card. Twin Turbo. The white version is super underwhelming. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like, it's just a little bit better than a white version, a white skill. You definitely need the gold skill. Like, the issue with a lot of these stam draining skills is that the stam draining doesn't scale. So you're losing 4% stam for a pretty weak effect. The gold version is good, though. Yeah, it has, like, the main issue is that it has 0 cross training, which is makes it really hard when your deck is a little bit when your deck doesn't have multiple copies of it, because you don't want to be solo training with Twin Turbo. Finally, we have the story event, the Wings of Iron. Biwa Hayahide Stam's actually a pretty good card. It's the strongest welfare card for longs. It gives VIP pass, which is a 5.5% recovery when you're trying to overtake somebody. So like the only people who can't use this is the runaway. I don't really want to go through the rest of her stats. She's just stronger than like getting cooldown from Nejiro McQueen Stam. And then finally, the last item here is the Part 3 anniversary missions, which, I mean, it happens all at the same time, July 27th. But Part 3 will be the Trainer Road, Master Trainer Road, Part 4. So these missions will never disappear, and this will be where that free SSR comes from. So there isn't like an actual anniversary missions Part 3. It gets retitled as the Master Trainer Roads Part 4. So like if you made a new Japanese account right now, you can do this event for the 1.5 Annie ticket. I don't know why they only did it for this anniversary. Every other anniversary has limited missions for their free ticket. Just this one is permanent. What's my pull plan for Grand Live? I'm going to be picking up Ricky. I'm going to pull on Tachyon Light Hello, and then I'm skipping everything else until I'm skipping all of this. And then I'm going to be pulling on every highlight you see here, actually, I'm going to be pulling on. I'm going to be pulling on Kitas and Black New Year's for League of Heroes. I'm going to be pulling on Ines Fujin Valentine's for League of Heroes. I'm most likely going to drop Mr. CB. If I get really unlucky, I'm dropping Mr. CB. Because I don't really care about owning Mr. CB. But if my 3 Uma pull plans here go well, I'll probably be pulling on her. And it's but like right now, it's just these two, so I can have 2 front runners for League of Heroes. But Twin Turbo will eventually come home. But any highlights you see here, I'm basically pulling on. Actually, it's every highlight here I'm going to be pulling on. No longer pulling Blaze. I don't want to build Blaze for the Arima Keenan. I don't want to pull in Uma and then grind out in like 24 hours Narita Bryant Blaze. So I'm going to ticket her and then use her in the future CM. Well, I don't even know if I think on the JP server, Blaze dropped round 2. I mean, given how Cygames has treated us in global, most likely Narita Bryant Blaze is going to drop in the middle of the CM and in the middle of the Arima Keenan, but I just don't want to do it. What do you get taking the lead after you pull for the Wit Bourbon? Oh, you just don't get taking the lead anymore. Gold groundwork, like you just get early lead. You don't need both gold versions. It's just like how you have taken the lead and groundworks now, you can run early lead and unshakable stance. Unshakable stance is also just a significantly better skill than taking the lead. If you check unshakable stance. Unshakable stance is 3 seconds of 0.4 acceleration. Taking the lead is 1.2 seconds of acceleration. But yeah, you just unless your Uma has taken the lead in her kit, you're not running. I mean, you can't even really run Bourbon Wit. You're basically not running this till Spark Falcon speed or Hero Bourbon power. But usually you just run 1 gold and 1 white. Like taking the lead plus groundworks is a worse acceleration than unshakable stance early lead. And like you're not running Medro Palmer or Twin Turbo speed for the gold skill. Like that's just it gives like no effect. When was the update about SSR chains finishing their events more frequently? Oh yeah, I've been calling it Fortune favors. Actually, I think I stopped saying Fortune's favors the fast. I used to say that a lot when Bourbon Wit first came out. I mean, I feel like honestly some of my old reviews probably still say yeah. I called it Fortune the favors the fast in the Mihono Bourbon Wit review. Technically, it actually wasn't announced for a while. Yeah, I recorded this whole like review. I don't think I'm gonna upload it. I don't want to edit 2 hours of footage. Like I literally don't upload videos because I just don't want to edit. It's probably so bad. When does event chains get updated? I actually don't know. I I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I don't know when that gets adjusted. Just put some text in it. Trying to think when it gets. I don't think there's anything like super soon that ups the chances of SSRs. They kind of, I want to say they just kind of adjust it through every scenario. I don't think there's like a specific date where like there's a specific date that all of it gets buffed. Let me see. Chain SSR. Yeah, I don't think there was like a specific. I want to say that like they adjusted it like as we went on. I don't know if it was ever a documented change. I've never encountered like a documented change, but I definitely like have seen like Twitter posts where people are saying like, "Oh, SSR chains are are being better." You don't think my clubs was gonna finish top 10 this month because it was hovering top? Yeah, I think like halfway through the month, um, they were just like, yeah, we're not gonna go for top 10, and then what five clubs just shot down in rating. We were sitting at like 14th place for like 2 weeks, and then 5 clubs just got exploded out of top 10. uh, so I think my club is gonna be 9th place for after tally. I think we were like 50 million ahead of 10th, so I doubt. What happened to those clubs anyways? All the bots just got kicked from clubs. Side games just kicked anybody who was botting the game from clubs. It was nice of them to nuke him one day before reset. I think technically one of them was still like top. One of them was still in it, right? So I'm trying to pull it up. I think Moe has it, where they updated it every time. Which club is it? Is it this one? The second one? Yeah, this club still had their bots active. But like the rest of them got nuked out of orbit. Yeah. How much did we end up? Oh, we were only like 30 mil in front of this one. I think they also lost their botter. Any like top like 40 or probably like top 50. If you go to Umamue, because they update it every 5 minutes. Well, they can't update it anymore. Like you can see like a lot of people were jumping up places, right? Like 7, 7, 7, 5, 5, 8. It was because like these clubs here lost their botters. Like Touchgrass lost their botter. Um, any club that had like multiple bots like super shut shot down. Like, but any club where you see that like they free falled like 10, 5, 10 places probably had a bot in their lobby, right? Like you don't just lose 24 places the day before reset without running a bot. 8 places. Well, I don't want to like accuse people who like lost positionings like this that they were botting. But generally, like if they like super like free falled, they were most likely botting. And then like obviously they also have the activity monitor. So like End Flight was the rank 1 club, right? This was the rank 1 club before the bots got purged. They had how much did they have? But any like all the bots got kicked, which is why they went all the way down to 760. Oh, they don't. It isn't. It isn't tracking what they had prior to all the bots kicking. But you can see here, like the number 2 ranked one still has it. This was another botted club which free falled from. I want to say they were ranked like 5. Oh, yeah, crazy, crazy. Like I think this is Touchgrass's bot, right? Are they still in the game? Or did they leave? Yeah, like they lost their bot. Got kicked from the club. They didn't have that much. I guess actually. Oh, was this also a bot? Quarter mil or half a billion in in a month is probably botted. There's another half a billion here. Yeah. Yeah, I would say half a billion fans is probably botted. But you can like look in through Moe to like I guess see the botted accounts. Hopefully, like one of the things that my club is talking about is so during the 1.5 or actually it might be the second anniversary. No, the Cygames did 2 API changes, which is like why these bots are working is because their API protection is dog. Like they have so what happens, like how these bots are working is that whenever you play a game, you send packets of information to the server of the game saying, "Hey, this is what I did on my computer. Can you validate like what I did? See if it's legit, and then update your servers to say that I actually did it." So like every time you do a run, you send a packet of information to Cygames saying, "Hey, this is what I clicked. This is what my computer did." And then Cygames will look at it and be like, "Yeah, okay, that's cool. That's what you did. Let me go update the servers." And with your new information, Cygames has no protection. At least when Musume first came out, they did not care. They just like, "Oh, you're telling me that you have these skills on your Uma, which is why the like there's cheated Umas, right? Oh yeah, like an Uma can definitely have Tail 9 and Top Runner right now, right? Like you're saying your Uma got it during your career. Here's your Uma. We validated your skills. Yeah, sure, it looks all good." They first updated that issue because there was botted accounts in JP. I think it was around Christmas. The top 2 clubs got completely deleted. It was a pretty. It wasn't a big scandal, but it was a pretty big thing. It was like right. I think I want to say it was during Mant. I remember it was like around Christmas that the top 2 clubs just got disbanded for botting. And then they waited until until Grand Live to do an update to the API check, and then they did it one more time during the 2.5 Annie when La Arc came out. So hopefully, like the reason why we have this 9-hour maintenance is so they can implement some API changes. But they've done 2 API changes, or 2 network updates to the game. It was once during the 1.5 Annie, and then once again during the second 2.5 Annie, which is Lark. But yeah, basically what I'm saying is that for a 2026 game, Cygames just ported us COVID level security on their servers, or like to on their API. So hopefully they update it. You know, we don't get cheated Umas in CM. We don't get these bots that clog up top 10 or like top, I don't know, 5. There's so many of these clubs that all drop down to A rank. Like I wonder if this club is gonna exist. I don't know. Very believable that somebody did 122 billion fans in a single day. What is that? 121 careers? Let's assume that it was done legit, right? 121 careers, because each one gives about 1 million. We can divide it by 3. You could do a career. Actually, you can do it. Let's say you can do a career in 15 minutes. I think my fastest URA career is like 15 minutes. It would take 30.25 hours to do. If you were doing 4 careers an hour, it would take 30 hours to finish to get 121 billion. I'm so sad. I don't even think. Am I on the list? Oh, I'm on the list. They say that I have a 30% bot. They're 30% out of 100 or 30 out of 100. Am I a bot? I do not play at. Actually, I do play at 2 a.m. Okay. I did 4 careers at 2 a.m. Why is it so green? I did 4 careers at 2 a.m. like 2 days ago. Oh, yeah, I don't. I think it only tracks. Actually, I don't know how many people it tracks. It tracks 7,500. Right, 7,500 divided by 30. The top 250 clubs, I think, is what it pulls data from. Yeah, if you're not in the top 250 club, I don't think it checks. I don't think it checks you. Check my PC. I don't think I've ever done. No, I guess it includes 15-minute runs. I feel like this number like includes when I glue a run. I don't know how I have 49 runs in short high fan windows. Now, this is kind of sad to look at. I think you can also look at your ranking, right? Let me see. Oh wait, I don't want to be on July. Let me go to June. So I'm 543. Wait, how do I check myself? Do I have to do it through? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I usually average around 150 million, except this month since they reduced the amount of fans we needed. Because my club requires 5 mil fans, which is I think 6 parent runs about. But they reduced it, so I only did 4.5 this month. It's accounting for half TP days, maybe. Dang, what am I? What did they put me at? Oh, like 500 and something. They said. Oh no, wait, my rate's so good. 176. I'm 176 on the uma.moe leaderboards. That's huge. I was gonna say, wow, my November fan gains were so bad, but it's because there was only 15 days for November. Wait, what? Oh, maybe it just wasn't counting. I guess Umadamue might have went up in November. You can update the game now. Oh, really? Let me see. Oh, apparently it updated while we were streaming. 105 megabytes. Hold on, I'm opening the game. Let's see how it looks. I can put it on my resume. Yeah, that Uma.moe ranks me as 176. Who is the? Is it just based on like fan gains? Oh well, it's just gonna be all the botters. 2 billion fans in 1 month. How much do I have? I think I have one like 1. You have 1.6 billion total. That's crazy. And I played for an entire year. Version 1.328. Oh, that's how I was gonna say that's not down in maintenance. Yeah, you can update the game. I wonder if there's anything interesting in the files. I don't want to dig too deep. Let me open up Uma Viewer and see if there's anything interesting in the files before I end stream. Like, I wonder if Light Hello's been put in the game. Yours was 28 gigabytes? Wait, I only had a 100 megabyte update. Did I not update the game? Yours is... You downloaded all game data? Oh, like in... Okay, I probably can't do it on stream because I don't think my Wi-Fi can handle that. Downloading the I don't know if I can handle that. You click this. I think this is just like downloading all the voices and stuff, right? Like all like the character events and everything. Oh, my game did not like me clicking that button. Like, this is just like downloading all the voice packs and all of like every like character event and stuff. You don't need to click that. It does reduce like the time lag between events while you're like are actually downloading it. But that won't be the full thing. Did they change where the files are stored? None of my like asset finders are working. Not that I, dig into the files or anything, but I cannot. Like, none of my asset finders are good. How do you preload the update? Oh no, that's like the only thing you had to update. The 100 megabyte, I'm pretty sure. Downloading all of the data is just downloading all the events. I mean, there's so many characters in the game now. Right, let me see if I can. I don't want to like leak that I'm doing this, just in case. Yeah, none of my asset. I'd have to find everything. None of my asset loaders are working. Did they change where the files are stored? App data. Whoops, that's not what I want to open. Oh well, I think I'll figure it out. Let me not do this on stream because you guys are just like watching me stare at the camera. I'll see if there's anything interesting though. Once I turn off stream, and I'll post it in the Discord if I end up finding anything. But I'm assuming they like put in all the July stuff, right? Is there an update in the mobile version? Let me check my phone. App Store. Uma. Let me see. There is an update for them. There is an update, but all they say is a minor bug fix for 1.32.8. About 1.32.8. We jumped a lot of versions. I wonder if a wiki has the versions. Yeah, it should be all be I think they're both 100 megabytes. But we jumped quite far because like every update was just like a small edition. We jumped all the way to 1.32. I don't know if the wiki keeps track of the version history. Update history. Oh, it does keep track of it. Yeah, we skipped a lot of versions. Because we were on this version here. 1.22, I think. And unless they changed the names. But they jumped all the way up to 1.32.8. Which is like pretty far in the future. Maybe it's just got mislabeled. Because 1.32.8 is like all the way here. Like right before the 2.5 anniversary update. I guess that makes sense. I mean, that does kind of make sense. If it's the version right before the 2.5 anniversary. Let me check if Steam also says that. No, because like when you launched the game, it said 1.32.8, right? When you went, well, I was looking at it mobile because the App Store makes you upload the version history. But when you launch the game, in the top left right here, it says 1.32.8. I don't know why I keep trying to open the game. Like that is the version right before the 2.5 Annie. Unfortunately, the maintenance lasts another 4.5 hours, and I don't think I can stay awake because I have work tomorrow. I need to be up in like 7 hours for work. But this is the version that we're on, 1.32.8. So I'll be down to look at everything when I wake up in the morning. But unfortunately, I do think I'm gonna end stream. I guess this is where we'll end off. We jumped because before this, like I remember because I was literally doing runs right before this. We were in 1.22.1, which is the update. Where is it? Wait, hold up. We were 1.22.1, which was around here, a little bit after the Grand Live update. But we jumped from 1.22.1 all the way to 1.32.8. Very interesting. Unfortunately, I will not be awake for when the maintenance ends. It does seem like we're getting skill balance changes. I mean, we'll know for sure in 4.5 hours. Because I'm assuming they will post all of the things that they changed. Like I'm sure they'll post a blog post about what they did. But I mean, we're all kind of just schizo until we know for sure. Like one of the main reasons, like the affinity updates, they kind of need to go that far, right? In order to add all of the affinity upgrades, since they are giving all of that to us right now. But yeah, there's a chance that we get the. I think I'm now more on the side that we probably are getting the skill balance changes since the version history jumped up so much. But at the same time, it could be just because they had to add the affinity update, the affinity bond level 12s, and that just made the version update history jump up super high. Because at the end of the day, it is just a name that they're just naming the version history. It's not like they're forced to do every single patch beforehand, unless they don't care about coding and like branching off, and they just copy and pasted everything. I have a little bit more faith in side games than having to implement everything before the version in order to give us the bond level 12s. I'm assuming that, you know, there's salary developers. Because, like, this is after Grandmaster's release. Like, I don't think we're getting everything there, right? Yeah, there's a lot of faith, but I don't know. We'll know for sure if I can like find the Grandmaster's files and everything like that. Then we'll know for sure. But I'm gonna end stream here. Thank you guys all for watching today. I'm sorry that, you know, I streamed 2 hours after the schedule dropped. It's kind of late for me too. We'll probably not be uploading this as a video, but obviously I'll keep the stream up. I will be back tomorrow at normal hours, like when I normally stream, and then I will dive into if they added anything. But I'll dive if they like announce what they've done. I'll dive into that, and then hopefully I can do some Haru runs. I have some really bad parents, but it is all turf, so we probably will do so because I haven't done a Haru run in Mant with turf sparks. So you can watch me fumble through that trying to figure out the schedule for it. So I'll probably do some preliminary Haru runs trying to figure out what turf sprint miles I can do at turf C at the start, and what deck I need to run for it. Anyways, thank you guys all for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye bye.